Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye. Today we're going to do a deep dive on the Hatfields and McCoys and why it is so pivotal in history and why it changed history so much and so wrong and so long that me sitting here look like a hillbilly and that I can legally and lawfully have a distillery in my backyard because I can say rent is due with the distillery. I just can't even believe it. It really was a tincture cause, but the cause was done. It was just done. It really was over, um, agriculture. It was about a marriage. It was all forms of the meaning. So when it went to a whole civil war and a stamps out, we had to say, what was the root? But as I'm seeing it, it was a little bit more Appalachian rooted, where there was something just not right to be it known. So that shows me that's all they needed. So there was something about a source when I see this Hierophant, and I also see the Son of Wands. So there's something about young male energy that was a source that was everything that it should be and shouldn't be, and the way it was run was a done. It was just done. This is what is this like theme that keeps coming out of the videos. You can't do a done. You can't do in a done. So basically, it was a breaking of a partnership and a marriage. It was over something that was an inhibition. This is the devil card in reverse. It was something of a type of addiction that was unbeknownst. I do see again, like Salem witch trials, there is a tree like hollyberry, like cranberry looking. It grows on a free northeast, very barrel, bottom of the barrel. Get a gun, get a go, get a bow, get a low, get a sow, get a doe. So when actually, in the last 3 weeks, when I see my neighbor actually hunting and he gets a buck, and I'm looking to make sure the doe doesn't come, I have to say, we got a little superstitious up here in the Northeast. The Son of Cups shows that it was an offering unbeknownst that was so young and naive with hidden motives with the Hatfields and McCoys that the Six of Wands was a pickup six game. Like a hurricane came through that you can't even do anything. I can't even believe this is coming out of my mouth. This is so conspiracy theory. It really put things to rest when someone left a ding dong ditch in their own way at that time on someone's porch. You really had to boil it down. I'm telling you, every time it goes to the point where they just go to the bathroom and they make the best idea. So when you see this, the chariot card, it was full force. It was done. The can tank was so huge that you couldn't even believe it. But on a larger scale, there is a rat a slew. So when we actually had a crime out here, when they said they did a slew of crimes, I said, you just got to go look for the rat. You got to go look for the rat. Once they do slew crime, that means anything and everything is something and nothing is going to come out. So when I actually see slew with Hatfields and McCoys, it was the game horse, like a ball. I also see a barrel. I hear dung, but it was really like bourbon whiskey. Just like trying to break the energy here. I see a coin, I see the rat. It was someone in the town that they were done with both families. They did not like it. It was someone not in the family who started that incident. The Father of Pentacles means they sat pretty well, those two families, prior to that incident, the Hatfields and McCoys. They really were like working together with teamwork prior to a lot of things. And where the Six of Cups goes, It really was not something known. That is that energy of that card, but really it is the Eight of Wands of destabilization of a type of communication that would have been like that, even still today down in Appalachia, where they do almost like a Cherokee throat crawl, where they speak on the low so high and so low, you can't get a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So when you actually see this, you see the Five of Wands and go, no, 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 no. It's a duetto. So when you actually tie it through and they practice the way they lived, that seeing certain animals act and behave a certain way, to where if they saw the bear, they were like, I already know what's going on, because they were so rooted and planted and grew well. But retressing is when you are actually plowing, and when you're plowing and you go in reverse of an antic of a kick up to get the soil to a depth of known, so you can at least plant corn, which really grows anywhere, literally grows anywhere. So if you can't even plant corn, there is something wrong with it. And that's where the justice comes in, because as I'm looking about a lot of the farms, where is it failing? Where is it failing? The Father of Swords goes law enforcement, military, logic, contracts, tips, tiers. So when I actually see this go through and they're singing at church, they go and see a singer, a sower, to be, obey all forms of the meaning. So when I see the Ten of Cups, it goes about unannounced, N-O-S-T. That means it was announced, but not announced on what was happening. It was almost a test out to see how well it would do. And it would be a cry, and it was due to these two families, to the Six of Wands in reverse, going, go obey, just go obey, just don't even start this whatsoever. So is it heinous to the point where they actually did antics to the point of gunpoint at a porch? Which reminds me of how, certain things had actually played out, at least in this area, because it actually had gotten to that point with a few families in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where if law enforcement actually showed up, they went, they had a 12 gauge ready, and they had to say there was something not right. So who is running the sluice still? So the 6 to the 9 to the 4-8 bay, it literally means it was a step of cause, that even still, if you reported in 911 and all of it, all the way through town hall, nothing got done, nothing, not even a thing, where it would actually break up relationships. And that was so profound, even to this day, you can't even do. You just can't even do. So when I see the high priestess, where were the hidden motives for that? Why? Why did they want this death card to come out, which is ending, not death? They wanted an ending between those two families. So let's cause a marriage that shouldn't, because there was rumor about cousins. There's rumor about a lot of things. This is where the chaos comes in, because I see the Seven of Swords. It is a steal, all forms of the spelling, even Stele. So when I look at it and I say, you were rent due, you were a rent rue, literally to a rent bill, it would be known highly already by that time on behavior in the community, if selling of oneself was dishonorable or someone was trying to do something. So I see this Five of Pentacles come in so hard, of disappointment and loss. I see it would probably be like $50,000 that those two families had lost by that time. And it was only like 3 to 7 months into the incident. That was a lot. That means a lot of cattle. That means a lot of land. That means a lot of planning for future. The Eight of Cups broken means just put it on the table. Just put it on the table. The daughter of cups, you can't even do. You just can't even do it. So at that time, agriculture was dull. It was duller than a nail. So when you looked at the swan, you had to say, no, go lail, hail, mail, sail, D. And you say, caught it. And that is how fast it would come out of your mouth because they put it into you. They put it into you. Back then, it was not uncommon to do instilling into the family that they knew what to do just in case it was rent due. What is rent due? It is a low form of prostitution. So when we do this, you say five of swords, go run with it now. So when you do that and you say, no, no, it's not what you think what rent due is today. Is it true? I don't know. Old things come back. Don't put that in my mouth. So when we do that, the Father of Cups goes, sit and listen and literally relax and see what comes through. It is illusional. It is delusional on what's happening. It's not true. That's not what's happening. We've all heard this. That's literally half of America right now. We already know. Yep. When they actually throw that type of energy, even back then at you, and you may not have a GED or a high school diploma, and you sit there and go, what just happened? You're so unprofound, made unintelligent by a comment that they would actually just go get the dog, go get the shotgun, and we're gonna go into the woods and we're just gonna find it right now and we're just gonna end it. Weakness? No. In those days, they're like, no, 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 that's not justice, though. That's not justice. Don't even get me there. But basically, back to that, it would cause a pause though when they would do that. So, how is that relevant to the Hatfields and McCoys? You can't even speak like that at all in 2024. It's getting to that point where people have to sit in their house at times because of the way it played out with Venezuela. How did Venezuelan incident get into the Hatfield McCoys? That's a true deep dive again, where you went, even I sitting here going, I don't even see where that goes as a psychic. All right. So let's actually go to the Pleiadian Oracle, and then we're going to go to the Literary Witches Oracle, and we're going to see it. So when I see it, I'm going to go, all was made known. It was just made known. It was like a type of curse that came in that was so derogatory at the end for a lot of these family members that they had to sit and really draw the line and say, don't cross over. Because if you came over to my property, if you came over to this property, it would just come bust. And they didn't know why it happened over one marriage. This poor couple where these two families had no issue whatsoever ended up having. All right. In mediumship, they're showing me something about the 1500s. There's something about the song that was sung about a day before the engagement that you couldn't actually do a chain link. It was about fertility. It was about blessing the marriage. It was about having everything that they had wished and wanted for. Four. I see four children. They wanted four children. So when you see the sea lion gut, there was something eaten, and I don't see the ingestion. It was eaten. It was taken in, eaten. Universal heart is something like juju to hoodoo voodoo almost. Because they're showing me a vision of bones, of what we would see hoodoo and voodoo be like, with not even up to the jar of dirt, that you can't even do anything when it would come near you. You didn't even know it would happen. So when I see quantum heart, I see that it cycled through them more ways than one. Air energy, air particle. And people in the South know about this when it's Cajun, not to go near at a certain point. Usually it's this. So when they do that, that meant they actually probably saw it already in their head, how it would play out. Crystalline goods. There is. So when you actually say that, it actually, I see the crawdads, I see the crawfish, I see how it would all go apart on a way to, I'm seeing the trailer, I'm seeing the duck, and that's how it is up there. It was all forms of society known practices of curses, spells, and hexes, charms to enchantments to get it done. This dream time thing, like when they were dreaming the Hatfields and McCoys, it was odd. They're showing me in mediumship. Usually it's not how they dream normally. Usually you dream and you go about, you got to download from the universe. That's how they usually dream. This was almost opaque in dreamland, almost cartoonish at times, where they woke up and they couldn't even see it. So when you see this transmission, I do hear some frequency, almost like Appalachian, of if you hear your name like that, don't go looking for it. Go home and shut the blinds. So when you see this and you set your vibration, you go, no, I don't think you should. Watch for the snake. And that is how it all started talking. A little here, a little there. Sacred union. They said that marriage between those two individuals that caused the war was a sacred union. I don't see a soul union at all. I do see rooted light with the pine, like a lightning bolt, but it wasn't. It was a type of energy work that is so rare with hoodoo, voodoo, juju. It was a cast out that only elders would know how to do. Light language. They could speak odd. So when I see universal knowledge, I actually say, you can't even understand universal knowledge. I don't see it here. I see it something stored in the mind that they've known for a while. This was someone who sat alone. Galactic core, they kept within. Fifth dimensional access, they had higher source, but it was not the higher source of what we were looking for in spirituality. There's reasons why we have to say things are regulated down to a medical card that even at their discretion they could take away, because you can't even understand how crazy it's getting. So is it pure? That's the question. What was they doing? Let's look at this. It's a form of Canton, which is pine and cranberry and Hollywood. Hollywood is a type of poisonous plant that makes it intoxicated, highly intoxicated. It's like punch drunk when you ingest it. All right. Wild flowers to rabbit. Bravery and rabbit. They would actually go out. And so when we saw this with Salem witch trials, and it was like the Sanderson sisters, that there was ritual in the woods, they would go and hunt, and you couldn't understand those who were with. They were elder gentlemen. I don't see female. I see three teenage girls and two men, and they were more warlock of a cutout, of a do out, of a be out, of a sew out, of a bay. So I don't see that. I do see them trying to. And like we discovered, it was a form of like nasty witchcraft in Salem witch trials that they couldn't even have time to go to law enforcement or to the court or do anything of that nature because you couldn't even see it coming. You would just wake up and it was right there. And all of a sudden you got echolalia, and then you have changes in mental status. I mean, this was nasty what they did. It came on so hard. So when you actually go back down to the Hatfields and McCoys, there was this belonging of like when I see this rabbit, I still see frequency and hurts and listening to the ground low. I see the teacup and it can't come through hard enough whatsoever. Nostalgia. It had happened before, but I don't know why I see this. Hunting. So when I actually see this, you can't even like change up quick to be on guard. You could just get up and move to put your bowl away and change up, and you couldn't even do. The apple says schooled, known. Already in their soul, I see a haunting like in their soul. I don't see anything within their soul that their soul was already like that. It was almost ghoul-like, and a ghoul, from what I remember in my education, is a soul so dark, it's soothed by gray look. So when it's soothed by gray look, you can't do a done. They just go about, they're almost so drained out from energy, those type of individuals. You just can't even say it, where we can't even believe how gray they can get. So that is like illness of the soul after criminal activity was removed from that soul as part of injury. Said to be family, but not. I see soul family. I see clan more. Identity. When I see this card, I have to say lay about. Take a sleep on it. because when I'm seeing Hatfields and McCoys, I do see the birds, and the birds were almost like drones that told a story. Like it was a bad act and a bad cinema that you couldn't get out enough. The Peacock was a beautiful adventure for them to where the noose actually looked good, but the actual, and this is the first time I'm actually going to look at this book because this information is just coming in so hard, so fast. I actually need to look at it. Noose, anxiety, threat, self-sabotage. My God, the subconscious, that's just straight out. It was just right there in the back of the head, like we had been seeing with JFK and Abraham Lincoln, but Abraham Lincoln was more the parietal, the eel, dishonesty, and what lurks. To the lion of self-mastery. So when we actually look at this and say the belonging is so hard, you can't do it, you can't be it, you can't see it. A, B, C, D, E. You have to say, go hunt. Go look at the trail cams. I don't know why I'm saying that. Go look at the trail cams. Look at the deer's eyes. Look at the horse's eyes. Bravery. Hey, halo glow effect in the animal's eyes was seen at the end that they could understand and finally get it out at the family. They, those who were brave around the Hatfields and McCoys while things were popping off had to do with this teacup, ease. It would put it small mind, ease. I see atrophy of the brain of that person who did that to them. Wild flowers, renewal, romance, awakening. This has happened before. I see a wanting of a muster to be, but I see the D left out. Rabbit, waiting, making leaves, hid in the dark. So that is as far as that wants to go. Let's boil it back down to simplicity for a closeout. All right. Any digging, any dig. All right. Studying the course. It was a scripted like scenery for the Hatfields McCoys through 1879 to a breaking of a partner covenant, something about covenant with Hatfields and McCoys. Divine physician, I even see they lost medical care at times because of the incident. No growth. I don't see growth of the family tree as much as they had planted well. That was normal back then, very normal. The King of Keys in reverse, I hear thrown right out the window. The two worlds, you can't even see it. There was two divisions whatsoever. The Akashic field, disrupt of energy, of hurts, of where they couldn't understand the stars, the moons, the constellation, the eclipses, anything like that. And they should have been able to understand basic astrology back then by covering just one eye of the moon, and you could see where to go in a directional. So when you see this, is this a continuance on? I do see a little bit of a remnant I hear someone say, and I don't know, that word keeps coming up. What does remnant mean for us? I do hear ringing in my ears when I do that. The lookout, fiery burnout, fated meeting. It was this individual who did this crime toward those two families said, no, it was meant to be. It was just meant to be to do this thing. I'm running with it. Impedance law, still to this day. I still say that whenever they do certain things, they can run a room. All right. Anything else that wants to come out? We'll go to animal spirit. All right, on the split, I do see the moth, I do see the children, the zebra, I do see the elders. I hear solid behavior. Dragon in reverse to the moth in reverse, where 20 to 39 years old, you just couldn't understand. I just understand why you're having this marriage. I just don't understand why you're actually going to go through this. I don't understand why you're going to actually go down the road with this and not do this to the shark. It just sits there and lies and waits. Still there. Fire ants, that's when the armor came. That's when they realized that there was something else in the mix to do. Oh. So with that being said, we will do a part two another day and take a rest. And literally, any questions or concerns or comments, give a like, a share, a comment, an email. Anything is accepted. It is greatly appreciated. We will talk to you soon.